via this one-way chat screen that's right here, but I can talk to you, so it's good. It is Friday on Geekspace TV. That means that it is time for the Exalted RPG that I run called Games of Divinity. Thank you so much for coming in and watching and just stopping in and all that. I'm sorry that we were a little bit late. Sometimes the buses in Seattle, let's just say that they consume feces occasionally.
Well, the 545 specifically.
Yeah, this was some egregious badness on the 545's part.
It was in a metro. It was in a metro. It wasn't even a sound transit.
Yeah, so it was like
in a metro.
Sound transit would never.
Oh, an actual shit.
It was.
An
Well,
actual
no,
shit.
but like the
It's an
545
actual
showed up in a metro instead
Yeah,
of a sound transit.
so it was like a
Well,
crappier
that's why
bus.
the 545 is specifically.
You know
a
we're
shit
tuning in
bus.
for Exalted for this bus route, this local
Yeah.
bus route, like this banter that we got for you guys.
When last... Let me actually rewind here because I know some of you don't know anything about Exalted. And I know that we've got things in the works. I'm going to do a short little primer on what is Exalted. You can also ask plenty of questions on our Discord, which I'm certain one of our lovely mods will provide a link to in chat. But Exalted is a game of epic fantasy in a fallen world where once there were titanic gods that were overthrown by human beings who were imbued and granted great power by the younger gods. And those are the Exalts. These are the PCs that are in this game. People who have been touched with a spark of the divine and through that are changing the world in whatever fashion they see fit. They are capable of doing boundless, insane things, and generally the good rule of thumb is if you think it's a stupid or crazy idea in Exalted, you should probably do it because that's where the awesome comes out. So over the top is par for the course. Also, we will not have Arya with us tonight because she is off doing real-life things that are super cute that I absolutely can't talk about, but I'm certain she'll post them all over Twitter when she gets back because I'm excited. Yes, we miss you,
I
Arya.
even tagged you in the cute GM photo.
So, these 5 solar exalts were brought together to do 2 things. One was to rescue a prince who had been kidnapped. They had been hired by the local lord of one of the city-states in the center of a mountain range between 2 major powers. They were also on a quest of their own design to unearth an ancient relic that prophecies and divinations had said would be found in a neighboring nation. And indeed they did. They found a framework made of a strange crystalline material that looks like it could house something inside, known as the Radiant Fulcrum, and they robbed it like crazy and fled back to the city-state known as Hermopolis, high in the mountains, ruled by sorcerers. Travel is often conducted by airship, because when you have enough sorcery, you can do things like that. And when last we left them, they had fought off hordes of the undead, had rescued the prince, had gotten paid a handsome sum, although in Kaz's case, his payment was a semi-magical bow that the ruler of Hyrcania didn't know what to do with. And they had traveled to Korosek's home city-state of Hermopolis to research this artifact. So, would you like to introduce yourselves? Starting with Marcus this time.
Hi. Hey, everybody. My name is Drunkly Romantic on the internet. My real name, not on the internet, is Marcus, or some people just call me Drunkly Romantic anyway. What was I talking about? Hi. I do a show every Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch called Drunkly Romantic hosts the show that I forgot the name of. That
Loud enough
Opinions?
topic.
Loud Enough. Unpopular Opinions is the name of the show. You can check
Ugly
that out.
Onions.
Follow me at Twitter, at Drunkly Romantic, at Twitter, and then another at Drunkly Romantic. This is a great intro. I'm playing Monos today, and it's great. I'm great. I'm glad to be here. I totally am not completely out of it right now, and I love you all.
If I could snap, I would also snap, but I can't. Okay, snap again, and then I'll pretend like I'm.
Exalted ASMR.
We make eating fish and chip sounds.
We're not sponsored by the Hot and Spicy today. Or whatever
No,
it's called.
for the first time.
We're breaking the habit.
I am Sally. I am a Twitch streamer and a very small stand-up comedian sometimes, and cat mother, and I play Zara. I play Ambassador Zara Haba, the Golden Tongue, Priestess of the Unconquered Sun, and I am a Zenith, and I am leading the expedition currently, and kind of a jerk sometimes.
A jerk with a lot of money, though.
Yeah, not the best of intentions, but very good at being a wordsmith. And you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Silly Jupiter, all one word.
I'm Andy. You can find me on the Twitter universe area as space_cat189. I play Kaz in this fantastic Exalted game. I am a man from the north, but that's not the cool part about me, and neither is my new bow, although it is pretty cool. But this is Shokan. He's my buddy. I ride on him. He's a lot bigger than this.
Are you sure about this?
Yes,
I
this
forgot
is
to
not
bring
this
up-
is not actual size. Things may appear smaller in the camera.
I think Sally has a very important pet-related announcement.
I forgot to also say that Zara has an animal companion of her own. Her name is Anshul, and she's a stunted lion cub.
I have something important to say too.
No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
I'm gonna feed that. I'm gonna befriend that dog too.
Oh, yeah.
Me and that dog are gonna be so tight at the end of the stream. It's gonna happen.
Keep trying. Keep trying.
It's working so far.
All right, AJ.
Thank God for alcohol. That's all I'm saying right now. Hi, everybody. My name is Algernon Bodum. I'm a developer over at Hairbrained Schemes. We make games such as Shadowrun Returns, Dragonfall, Hong Kong, Necropolis, Golem Arcana, and now we're making Battletech, which you can now get in public beta if you go to battletechgame.com.
Wow.
That was good. Could you teach me how to
Hey,
do an
it's not-
intro that
it's-
makes
It
sense?
seems like you totally went to Gen Con all the
Yes.
You're talking about it for a few days.
Maybe once or twice. Online, you can find me at Algernon Bolden, just my name. And tonight I'll play Whis, who is a Twilight. He's the builder / not really diplomat so much as the businessman of the group, I would say.
He's got the bureaucracies on lock.
Also a lot of money.
Yeah,
Lots of
also
money.
a lot of money.
You paid. Believe like the last time you paid for us to have new clothes.
That's because you're all schlubs.
Ouch!
Next.
Guilty.
Hey, I'm Steph. I'm a coffee wizard. You can follow me at Sourfruit Junkie on the Twitter. And I play Korosek, who is a thief. That's it. She's a thief and a sorcerer and has a bunch of demons and is all about finding shiny things while having the best fun. Unlike this person here.
I have fun. Money is fun.
Gilded, fancy fun.
Success is
Also,
fun.
we can see you, chat.
Yeah, we've
yeah.
got
Yeah,
chat
we can
monitors
see
now.
you.
Yeah.
And chat brings up an excellent point that yesterday was Andy's
Andy's
birthday.
I'm old.
Happy birthday.
You're a baby. You're a wee
You
baby.
are baby.
You are baby.
So I'm Tyler Carpenter, also a games designer over at Hairbrained Schemes, at ADARAEL, everywhere that I have a presence. If you find somebody that uses that name and isn't me, we will have to fight like Highlanders because there can be only one. And I didn't know what day it was until like at 10 a.m. this morning because through PAX and all of that, I haven't had much of a chance to rest. Also, there's crunch.
Brunch.
Brunch? What?
And there is brunch.
Brunch.
Oh, my
Brunch.
goodness.
Brunch.
Cheers.
Yes.
Can we, maybe next week, just like so we can like make it even for all of our tastes. Maybe clear liquor next time.
Oh, I'm bringing in some sun gin next week.
Oh, good. That's good stuff.
We'll
Vodka.
we'll get you covered, Sally. We'll
Oh,
get
do
you
you, just,
covered.
do you just want vodka?
Kettle One now.
So,
It doesn't have to be. I
Drink
mean,
Tito's too.
I mean, I'm sorry. The preference is Kettle
it's
One.
very expensive.
so
$200.
yes, last time on Games of Divinity, we already covered most of that, but to refresh certain pertinent details, Korosek had uncovered facts about this artifact, and in fact, that it is not one, but three separate pieces. You had the piece known as the Radiant Fulcrum, but there were two additional pieces that were still out in the wild somewhere. Not literally the wild, because that term has a specific meaning in Exalted, but out in creation somewhere. First, there was the Crystalline Rift, which was lost at one point and last sighted near the most recent sighting of a particular manse, that is a magical house that collects chi, that phases in and out of reality according to the whims of geomancy and, I suppose, space-time continuum warpings and things like that. There was also the quintessence supernal, which is ostensibly the power source for this artifact, which was lost in a region to the north known as the Sea of Graves, which, if you could imagine Venice, Italy, having been sunk under the ocean by about 20 feet, it's like that. People use it as a sort of floating bazaar, but once a year, when the stars are right, in a time known as calibration, analogous to the Aztec Days of the Dead that fall off the end of the calendar, the city itself rises up in sort of a glowing, ghostly version of what it once was, and the idea being that you wouldn't really be able to get at the quintessence supernal until that time because it had been lost and pulled out of space-time into wherever the city goes when it no longer exists in creation. Same problem with the Manse, but the Manse at least has, you can see it will appear with greater regularity than once per year. So, inside the great library of Hermopolis, incense wafting through the air, the chimes of prayer wheels and whatnot as they're being spun. Korosek in one of the study rooms, and there was a knock on the door behind her.
Come in.
A gentleman in red and gold robe, big sash, High Sorcerer Savan, who is your specific contact within Hermopolis. He's the one who taught you most of what you learned from about sorcery
He or
when you were
she? I
younger.
forgot. Savon, I thought was.
Was it a she?
She, I think
Okay.
it was a she.
I may have swapped genders in my head. Yeah, we'll say it's a lady. in
I will
sash.
say it is a she. It is so.
Oh, so be it. I am not particularly attached to this character's gender one way or another. Yeah, she sweeps in and sort of glances over your shoulder at the books that you've got unveiled. Anything interesting on that thing?
No, just that it just comes in and out on really odd, auspicious days. But I don't know where it is. I can tell when.
Well, have you considered enacting a geomantic working to try and force it into a particular spot in creation?
That's
With-
not my specialty.
No, but you're as well educated as most of us. We could send some minor geomancers around, and with your talent, I'm certain that you'd be able to do something. I can't guarantee that it would work, but you could certainly encourage it to manifest in a
Worth
particular
a
place and time.
Do I know the rituals for something like this?
You do, as a matter of fact.
Do
You've
you?
got a cult 5.
Oh, that's
You
true.
definitely
I
know how to
definitely
do
know
this.
that. Okay.
And it's such a specific thing that it's not really thaumaturgy. It's its own particular, not even sorceress working, although if you did a sorceress working, it would probably be faster, albeit more disruptive.
Okay. And is this something that I should be doing in the city here?
You
or
probably don't want to have
do that?
a phantom palace appear where there are already buildings. It might cause problems for people that say want to get out of their house, and their front door is a wall.
And I would assume that being a wizard academy, pretty much wizard city, that there's probably places that are suited for summoning random things.
Oh, yeah,
of mysterious
absolutely.
outcome.
Absolutely.
Would I be able to do this by myself?
No, probably not. You'd need a crew of people just to haul the stuff around.
Oh, okay.
If it helps, I could try and throw something together for you. And if you wouldn't mind, we'd like to take a look at the artifact that you did bring back while you're out. We're not going to damage it. We're definitely not going to turn it on. But it's interesting from a historical perspective, if nothing else.
Of course. We have to get through the wistful sigh. He just has his hands all over that thing and won't let anybody near
The
it.
merchant, really?
Yes.
Well, extend to him an invitation.
I mean, it's not like he's a problem to me. I can easily just probably get a hold of it and put it back without him knowing.
That's certainly possible, but I was going to suggest that perhaps you could extend an invitation to him and the other members of your band to have tea later.
Yeah. I should. That I can do.
All right,
Just gonna
let's,
wrap up here and look at the rituals that I need and we'll get the rites started.
I'll
See
have
what's
some
in the city.
acolytes rounded up, see if I can't encourage any of them to go on a field trip, so to speak. Promise them extra credit towards their dissertations.
Oh, little nuggets.
3 p.m. We'll say 3 p.m. Meanwhile, what's Whisk doing?
Is there wood, by chance? A goodly amount, let's say 200 pounds or so?
Like, physically wood, not a wood?
Yes, physically wood that
Yes.
you will request.
Yes, absolutely. Is there any particular type of wood you would like?
Probably more malleable one, because what
Okay.
I'm going to be doing is creating an exact replica of the Radiant Fulcrum.
Oh, cool.
To as little detail as I possibly can, mostly so I don't have to actually touch it and see how the leverage works.
Oh, that's perfectly acceptable. Yes.
Do
You can. If you want to give me a roll, the higher you roll, the more accurate it will be to details.
Okay. How many bonuses do I get if I have a specialty?
One.
One.
One
Okay.
bonus die. And you can up to double that pool depending on how many motes you spend.
I am going to spend 4 motes.
Cool. Well, he's doing that. What's Kaz up to? I just want to know where everybody is.
So, at this point, I'm still reading storybooks in
Cool.
that book bar. I'm trying
Okay.
to catch up on as many stories as I can because I know nothing. Kaz is clever, but he's an idiot at the same time. So I'm just trying to learn some lore.
So here's a question. Does Kaz have lore?
No, that's the thing. So it may just the books may
Does
seem
Kaz have
like
linguistics?
7
Oh, 7.
and then 0.
Does Kaz have to read?
no.
Kaz does not know how to read.
I don't know how to read.
So you're looking at picture books. It's like you're browsing an almanac of stuff going, oh, cool. These are nice illustrations.
I found this really
sounds
good
about
book
right.
about a puppy jumping over a rooster.
Oh, I love that one.
It's one of my favorite books.
the Pop in the Cock. Love it.
And
You
actually,
were talking about, yeah, do it.
I want to steal it, but that's not me. That's not me, man.
Yeah,
I love this book, but-
as far as you can tell, it's a lovely story about a puppy that makes friends with a rooster, and they like to
Aw.
play, but the rooster is just like a little bit more intractable because he's concerned with like strutting his stuff. And for anybody else who reads that book, it's a political treatise on a pair of different political parties historically during the shogunate, with the rooster and the puppy representing the various factions therein.
This is a good book.
I like
Peabody
it.
winner.
I like it.
What's Zarahava up to?
Now that we're finally back in another major, at least bigger city, I am off writing a bunch of letters to have sent off on whatever kind of bird mail travel system. We're using A to my various connects throughout the land, trying to keep tabs on the Venif woman, as well as updating the other unconquered sun school folk on
Cool.
the artifact discovery.
So for your benefit, because you've got so many connections, you do get a lot of news of the outside world that other people would not have access to. It seems probable, first off, that the realm, while it may not know exactly what you took from X-Ray, might have known that there's an artifact there. Some of your, I'll call them spies, some of your spies have indicated that there are rumors that a navy from House Cathak, which is a major military power from the realm, have been sighted around the Sea of Graves, maybe looking for the other part. And there's been an abnormal influx of treasure hunters in Anteng making their way east towards where you are. Lady Venif is definitely still around, and as far as you can tell, she's not going, oh my god, anathema, anathema. She's kind of keeping it on the DL. She's probably told her own family, but might not want to, draw attention to the fact that she ran away from a bunch of anathema.
Yeah.
And lastly, the school that you had started off in also has news. They're worried that maybe somebody that has ill designs on them has been snooping around, so they're stepping up security back home. And essentially, they're updating your code books, so to speak. Like, this is the way that we're changing the code words and letters. And what is Monos doing other than being drunk?
Sitting in the middle of a very busy hallway, in the dead center of it. People are walking past and trying not to step on him.
All right.
And I'm sitting there, and I have my tea, and I have my booze, and I place 3 coins, 3 buttons, 3 symbols in front of me, and I'm just looking at them while I pick my teeth.
You pick your. I thought you said pick your tea. Like, I have 5 varieties of tea. I must pick the right tea for hallway sitting.
I do have quite. Do you want? Would you like some? I have
No,
quite a bit
I
of various things.
I don't want your strange liquids that you're producing from your armpit. I'm a little creeped out by it, honestly.
I like you. You're good.
I missed this.
So, Monos is the one that's going to be the easiest to find at that point. He's sitting in the hallway, and a woman, dressed in a red and gold but more simple robe than the High Sorceress cast, got a stack of books under her arms. Excuse me, are you the man with the flame pieces who might not have a place to live?
I'm a lot of things to a lot of people, but that's, yes, definitely that one. What can I do for you today,
I have an
ma'am?
invitation for you.
What?
Oh, it's from the High Sorceress.
This is a gala?
Yeah, well, it's tea, really. I think.
Tea?
Yeah.
Excellent. When is this tea?
3?
3 teas?
3 p.m.
Can I bring booze?
I don't see why not.
It's a pleasure to have met you. I'll be there.
Great. Thanks. And as she wanders away, I hope he's not homeless for good. Similarly, each of you has found, other than Korasak, of course, invitations are delivered. The one who delivers to the invitation to Zarhava, just very, very like professional. Like you've been invited by one of the High Sorcerers to tea at 3 p.m. She would very much like to make your acquaintance and discuss future opportunities. Oh, it's an excellent treatise. I'm a big fan myself. I feel that the analysis falls down around page 200, but it was written for a particular time and place.
My favorite part's the river.
Ah, yes. The eternal problems of a capitalist economy and the nature of free trade. Such a riveting subject. You've been invited to tea.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
High
Awesome.
Sorceress.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And similarly, Whist, honestly, Whist doesn't get invited to high tea. Instead, while he's sculpting, the High Sorceress herself is watching from in the doorway.
Can I help you?
I was going to invite you to tea at 3, but I'm a little curious about what you're sculpting.
So, this is Eternal Fulcrum, as you already heard.
A model, then, for reference.
Yes.
That's a smart idea.
It's the only idea.
I don't know about that, with proper wards. That's part of why I wanted to have tea. We'd like to study it while you're away.
Perhaps.
But we can make it available so that at least Korasak is capable, I don't know about the rest of you, of possibly forcing the Phantom Palace out into creation from wherever it is traveling and elsewhere. I'm putting together an expedition. See me at 3?
Maybe.
It would be very unfortunate if you didn't come.
I just suddenly straight remember that I had to be diplomatic.
Mm-hmm.
It would be an honor.
Never let it be said that you cannot say no. I just intend to make it a lucrative deal. Good luck on the carving.
I don't need luck.
Good skill with your hands, then.
As I hold in the chisel. Extra deep. Also, I got an 8. Successes.
Oh, good. Yes, you make a fine sculpture. You're missing some of the fine detail because it's wood and wood has grain and stuff like that. But with a little varnish and stuff like that, you could probably round most of that up. At 3 p.m., High Sorceress Savon's particular personal quarters. Her style of abode is very much sort of that Roman style of villa that you would find around in ruins currently around Jerusalem or other areas in the Middle East around Jordan and whatnot. Like tall pillars, big open spaces, small individual rooms. It's got a mini fruit orchard outside because it is in the city. So, and it has demons everywhere. I mean that's the clearest I can put it. There are demons tending to the forest, the orchard. She's got a forest. It's very small. It's 2 trees.
Orchards are just fruit forests. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. And she's seated in like a little veranda area with a samovar and a big silver bubbly tea thing, if you don't know that word. And many teacups, little tea cakes and snacks and things like that. And she has a demon attending her, a sort of silvery white skinned and haired thing with too many fingers that turn into filaments. And it's got a harp, and it's playing the harp with these several dozen finger filaments and whatnot. And it is probably one of the most skilled harpists that any of you have ever heard. I can't speak overtly. You might be secret harp collectors.
No.
You are not a secret harp collector. There are also human servants as well. And an interesting fact about Hermopolis, slavery is illegal. Indentured servitude, however, is seen as a respectful thing because it primarily takes the form of like master-servant apprenticeship. So all of her servants are definitely young students that she is mentoring and teaching thaumaturgy and sorcery to. You are all shown in. Your coats are taken. There's a place for your shoes and whatnot. And you are allowed to keep your coat if you really want to.
Thank you.
You're shown to the seats. I heard that you looked like you had been a bit tempest-tossed, but I didn't realize that it was a bit more literal than I expected. You look like you just got through being thrown about in a typhoon.
You're a very nice person.
I don't think that's true, but I'll let that pass.
Pleasure.
If
Thanks
you
for
get to know
having
me, you'll figure it out.
Thank you for having us.
Monos, what happened to the outfit that we bought?
Oh, I burnt it. It was very cold last night.
Could have sold it.
Well, what would that get me?
Wine?
More wine?
Oh, I have a plentiful supply. Don't worry.
I think it's so kind that you went as far as to invite our friend here. You really didn't have to.
Well, I didn't
Really
know.
didn't have to.
I didn't know if he had some secret sway with decision-making abilities that I was unaware of. I thought it best to play it safe and invite everyone.
Well, to your kindness I shall reward this.
I can't find the pale one, though.
What?
Svara.
I
where is
haven't
she?
seen
Oh,
her.
Dr. No Name.
I actually have not seen her in quite a few days.
I
I
thought
was
that she
assuming
was
she was with you.
What? Is Jahar around me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you get a look around?
Oh, I already have. I think
She could be anywhere in the library.
well, if we couldn't find her, we couldn't find her. I trust that you'll convey whatever message is necessary to
She
this
does
individual.
love her books.
Yeah, this worries me just a little bit.
Would you like me to prefer the proposal to them, or do you want to convey it, since I already brought it to you?
Well, after researching, it looks like there are spells and rites where, though this house of chi, as it were, only likes to appear on certain auspicious days and alignments alignments beyond us, I can force it out with a ritual. Has to take more than me. I don't have enough energy to actually do it by myself, but we can get a rite set up, and I can try and bring this palace into creation or into our reality.
Is it safe? Okay.
It's magic. It's not. It's magic.
Would such
Where's the
magics of that
excitement?
caliber alert the guild or anyone from Untang?
Well, I suppose if you were to perform a sorceress working, someone might notice. But I was thinking geomancy of a more mundane sort. Arc the dragon lines into a particular place, encourage sympathetic resonance with the palace itself, and hopefully it will pop out at the place that you have diverged all of these ley lines to.
This
Unfortunately,
would not lead to any sort of permanent destruction of said artifact, would it?
I would find that very unlikely. Unless Korosek is of a severe magnitude more potent a sorceress than I assume she is.
It's the smile.
No, the palace itself, the Palace of the Ardent Phoenix, is said to have been crafted in the first age, and as such would resist any mundane attempts to see it done harm.
Would I know anything about like Ardent Phoenix or the creation?
Curiously not. There's very little known about Ardent Phoenix herself, other than that she was a martial artist of a great caliber. It's almost as if someone had gone through and deliberately erased records.
Which is not weird because it happens all the time.
Wisp, considering our prior agreement, a no harm clause of sorts, where do you stand on this ritual?
I think that would give us more information, and it's highly dangerous and somewhat foolish to bring an ancient relic back to modern times. But at the same time, too many people already know about this. Sooner or later, someone is going to attempt it.
Every time it's popped out in my memory, treasure hunters have gone looking, and unfortunately, due to its changeable nature, they rarely go prepared optimally. They have to get everything together and rush. This way, at least, you'll have a chance to prepare.
I did receive a bit of intel from my compatriots back home, my school, that there is quite a large brigade of sorts approaching the city now, so it might be best to just
Hermopolis?
to get this over with.
Yes, I've heard similar rumors as well. There are treasure hunters from Onteng making their way here. Not necessarily dragon-blooded, but some of them are. And Kathak Navy patrolling around the Sea of Graves as if looking for something. I also heard a fascinating rumor that there was a woman with pale hair and a lion cub that glowed with the radiance of the sun and defeated hundreds of ghosts.
That's interesting.
An interesting story that's been making the rounds. I'm certain it
Sounds
has
quite
no
silly.
basis in fact.
It sounds quite silly.
But
to me.
wasn't
Hearsay.
that the
I do believe that we should just I do believe that we should just get this over with then. If you are truly as confident as you say you are in your ability.
If you doubt me, there's like no hope for us, is there? So
I don't doubt you. I believe you can do that thing that everyone's saying you can't do.
I don't know what to do with you sometimes. Wobble brains.
I say we do something about it. Either way.
It'll be fun.
Better, yeah,
I'm on the
better,
fun
better do
side.
it than to
It'll be
possibly
fun.
lose it.
Why don't we have fun
I'd
for
be so
once?
serious
We're always
about it.
fighting
Completely.
zombie things. Let's have fun.
So
You'll just die
how
sooner if
do
you take
we
everything seriously.
start then?
Well, I've taken the liberty of preparing a requisition list from the rest of the Synedrion. Some acolytes that will be able to haul heavy objects around and do your bidding, like good little children should. Quantities of things such as copper, brass, jade, to affect the arcing of the dragon lines. In the area that you choose, there are several places around Hermopolis that might be a good start that have a lot of dragon lines, but we have changed the geomancy around the city itself rather significantly, as one might imagine, because we have need of that magical power. But in the jungle mountains to the northeast of here, there's plenty of untapped power, and it still technically lies within Hermopolis' dominion. As such, I've also requisitioned a small airship for you, one that is of a larger variety, though never so large as the Hostelanti ice freighters.
Oh, I don't like airships.
Well, it's either that or you could march your way for several weeks through the jungle.
Don't like jungles or weeks.
Well,
If you get yourself drunk enough, you fall asleep and we'll be fine.
Ah, okay. I like that.
We need to be away and faster than those treasure hunters coming out here.
Oh.
And being up in the mountains will give us time.
Oh, good idea. I like the way you think.
I don't want them to get to it first.
I don't know. Yes.
is he always like this?
Yes, wobble
Yes.
brains.
What are we
His
talking
brain
about?
like Cecily, and like Cecily's actually in his head.
Sesame. Now that's
Yes.
a good. That's
Yes.
a good one.
And she sort of
Alright,
fixes
alright.
you with this glance. No, I think Adorian, most likely. The Laughing
So-
Wind.
Oh, yes. Less the tearing, more of the insanity. Oh,
Yes.
yes, yeah. It's kind of a compliment.
Thank you. You know what? I
No.
like you. Keep it up.
So I'd say the sooner the better.
Yes.
The requirement that I have that I did bring up to your friend Whist is we would like to study the Radiant Fulcrum while you are away. We would not be activating it or anything like that, but we would like to understand how it was constructed, the nature of its origin, etc., etc. And I understand that it is within his purview to grant this.
Measuring glance.
All right. Measuring glance. Remind me what that does. That
It allows me to use bureaucracy to read intentions. That cannot
All right,
be
to get you what
resisted.
you want. Yeah, give me a bureaucracy. You adding any extra dice to that?
No, because I actually used almost all of them for the charm itself, and I actually have 10 dice for it.
Okay, that's a more expensive.
Oh,
charm
no,
than-
it is 5 motes to spin it.
Oh,
For
all
measuring
right,
glance.
that's fair. That would put a dent in your peripheral or personal pool.
I've been using personal. I don't want to.
That's very wise. So that's a bureaucracy charm by all means. Give me a roll on that.
Actually, it's not because
I
it's
thought-
not using manipulation.
Ah,
I was using intelligence. This is a manipulation roll. I'm thinking.
okay, yeah. Read intentions to figure out what she's after.
Yeah. 1,
She's got pretty decent guile.
6 successes.
That definitely beats her guile, though. She's honestly extremely curious about what the artifact is. She doesn't have any It's an academic curiosity, however. It's not like one for personal desire. She also finds it amusing on some level that you're so protective of it.
That's not nice.
No power sources near it. Any and all written materials, either in cipher or not allowed to neonates.
Oh, of course not. No. Whenever an artifact is unearthed, its potency is assessed before we allow any young people even access to the room. We had an accident once with, it was a ball, shall we say. Had a bit of a swirling, silvery fluid inside of it. One of them dropped it on the floor, and it cracked, and it killed the entire wing, suffocated them to death.
All the babies.
Well, they were college students.
Oh,
but
that's fine.
I will also require reports of any and all findings that you may make. While
I think
we are
that's
gone.
acceptable.
And I require freedom to share said findings with my school.
Whatever we give you is yours to do with as you see fit.
In that case, I don't see why we shouldn't allow it.
We have an accord then.
Excellent. Well, I'll see that the expedition is put together as quickly as possible. I would suggest making ready. I'll have food and cooking supplies and things like that. But if you wanted to bring anything unusual, now would be the time to get it. Also, I couldn't help but notice your bow over there.
What about it?
Where'd you get it?
Got it from places.
Huh. It's an interesting make. Looks a bit Raksha-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of just stumbled upon it.
Well, keep it close. It's probably very valuable.
Really?
So someone probably wants it back.
Well, I don't plan on getting rid of it.
Well, they'll have to pry it from his cold dead hands, as the saying goes.
Just don't shoot her again with it.
No, that was
Please.
fine.
That was bad.
Heard that from across the field. That was fine.
Perchance, do you have any steel blocks or steel wedges?
Yes.
If you could load maybe 500 pounds into the airship.
Yeah, I think we could put something together. You give me dimensions for how big you want them to be.
Probably by 3 by 3 by 5.
All right, you'll probably.
It'll probably get 2 blocks at
Yes,
most.
that's
That's
about
probably more
all.
enough.
Okay, excellent. I can't guarantee the airship will be ready for at least 2 days. So, take your time in the city. Enjoy our sights. If you would have any need of a tour guide, I'm certain I can recommend someone to you. So, and she'll make small talk over tea and talk about random stuff until the meeting has sort of wrapped up. Her primary interest is, in fact, demonology. And all of the demons in the manor house and in the grounds have names, and she will introduce them.
It's one of them, Bob.
No, none of them are named Bob.
Damn it! Only acolytes do that.
What's wrong with Bob? Bob's a fine
Nothing.
name.
Bob is from the Black Lodge, so don't fuck with Bob.
Yes. Don't fuck with Bob.
All right, so anybody want
Smile at you.
to... Is there anything in particular people want to do or get in preparation? I did not expect you to have the cap of that in your mouth.
Well, I exceed expectations.
Hit or miss.
What would I know of as far as Death
Give-
I just know that she is an abyssal.
Yeah,
Wow.
because you
I would
overheard
know
it.
that.
Give me an intelligence and occult, and if you have any specialties in the underworld or the like,
No.
that will help.
Yeah, I'm not gonna break notes.
And anything from Kaz or Zarahava?
What are the outside surrounding areas of this place look like?
It's basically a city of like tall towers and interlocking bridges and things like that, with a sort of rapids waterfall that flows through far below. The richer you are, the higher up you live.
So we're pretty up.
Yeah, you're
Pretty up there.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
the best wizard tower.
You're the real wizards.
I'm gonna go get Shokan. Get ready.
Cool.
Any food I have.
All
Anything
right.
else?
You got
4 successes.
4 successes. From what you recall, you know very few stories about him because he's a reclusive Death Lord. The prefect of Black Stars and Broken. I think it's the prefect of
Broken stars.
Broken Stars and Black Destinies, also known as the Mournful Haruspecs. Haruspeci being the art of divining through entrail reading.
Does he have a live journal by chance?
No, he's got a journal.
I think it's Zanga, though.
You're definitely Zanga, all the way Zanga.
Yeah.
One of the things that makes him notable, though, is that as far as you are aware, he doesn't have any abyssal, and he definitely doesn't have any armies, and has essentially no influence whatsoever, and is a meditative monk. The other story that you've heard is that he's far younger than the rest of the Death Lords, whereas everybody knows that all of the Death Lords are eternal and they've always been there. He's not, because
Oh.
they make fun of him for it, which he doesn't seem to care about. So, anything that Zarahava wanted?
Mostly just wants to get on the road.
Cool.
Or the air. Get on the air. Road.
Are there any flowers nearby?
Yeah, there's gardens all over the place.
Okay, I find the nearest garden and I just put on my harmonica and start playing.
Huh, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's nice. And any last minute stuff for Whist?
I would actually go find Manos. And
He's playing harmonica in a bush.
Literally in a bush.
okay. I noticed you have fire pieces before.
Yes.
May I borrow one? Just
Oh, that's a tricky question. What would you let me answer your question with another question that's not really an answer to your question. What would you do with it if I were to give you one?
I want to study it. I've heard of them before. I've even wielded one that was out of use, but I've never seen one that is of full validity, so to speak.
Sir, your mind is intriguing. Of course, you may borrow mine. You are now a friend. Here, and I take one off of my hip, and I just one.
Okay.
I hand it over to him, and I look him in the eye the entire time, smiling.
This is really unnerving.
It is.
I'm gonna do a quick study and see. Is this
Sure.
just a completely normal fire wand?
Yeah.
This is for crafting?
It's absolutely normal. It's been battered and beaten, and like part of the grip is held together with some wire and things like that.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a functional and normal flame piece, other than having seen a lot of use.
Feels good, right? Feels comfortable, natural.
Airship. Meet me when we load in the morning. Bring tape.
I will. I have plenty of it.
Yeah, he's got to.
Thank you. And wait.
I just walk away without answering the
All
other.
right.
And I play my harmonica louder, and that's my friend, and I keep playing the harmonica.
A couple days go by, and you meet up at the dock by High Sorceress Savan's manor house. Basically, the docks sort of protrude from the sides of buildings, and the airships just tend to pull up next to them. Whist and Monos will be there first, assuming that Monos wants to be there first, such as he requested.
Oh, he's my friend. I'm not going to miss my friend.
Yeah, it's early in the morning. There's sort of like that pale bluish gray light as the sun starts to creep up over the horizon. Some Felicans are loading crates onto the airship.
Oh, Pelicans.
Oh.
Did I see them like with a bow tie?
We're flying.
No,
a
they're
Pelican
dressed like
festival.
laborers. They don't have a bow tie.
I know, I still see it with a bow tie though.
when you fly.
I just see them trying to put random things into their gullets, just like, like that fits. And it's like,
Can I be inside one of their gullets?
Not without causing a lot of damage to their throat. No.
Fine.
Just a gullet.
giant pouches.
It's just a gullet. It's just a
Well, I
gullet.
don't like-
Jeez, golly. Golly.
Yeah, the gullets.
So,
All right, look, Monmouth.
Yes.
I don't actually believe you are what you're pretending to be, but you can shoot that thing. You can shoot it well. So let's make a deal.
Sure.
I will make you better one of your flame wands. Much better. In exchange, you tell me a story.
What kind of story do you want to know?
I want to know a story about you, but I want it to be the truth.
The truth.
Or at least a truth.
I think I can do that.
Think I
What
have?
do you want to know? And I take a flame piece and I slide it over to him just across the ground. I'm on the ground sitting.
I'm going to begin to inspect it. Do you have tape, like I asked for?
Oh, yes. Hold on. Oh, wait, that's not tape. Sorry. Hold on.
I love that he's just produced an eye patch.
I can't see anything with this.
Yes, welcome to my life.
With the eye patch whisper
It's
of
eye
the
tape.
phone.
It's fine.
Eye patch is just eye tape.
You can. I want to know how you came across these and how you learned to fight with them.
Oh, my friend. Our acquaintances are going to be here soon. I don't know we have time enough for that. But I can tell you.
Later then, and I'll begin working on this.
Absolutely.
Are you Southpaw? Are you more?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
How could you tell?
I might be an artist. I might be a builder, but I'm also a fighter. Part of our family's tradition is that anything that we make, we must also use.
That is a beautiful, beautiful mission statement.
It's a terrible, terrible family.
Ah, well, we can pick who are ours. We can only choose later on, which doesn't really make sense. I've had a bit of brunch.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Is it? I lost track of time a couple of years ago.
Coming through.
I look at I look at the Felican, just kind of like just wondering what it's like to be in, not out loud, but just wondering what it would be like to be inside its mouth, but not in a weird way, like in a very kind of like interest, like the gullet area.
Just the gullet.
But like I'm not doing it because that would be infeasible and ridiculous.
Are you actually saying this out loud too? I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you.
The air elemental pelican like looks back, just like shakes his beak, like what the hell?
I like
Do I
inside
walk
that
quickly?
shaky beak.
Yeah, he waddles quickly.
Don't
He
make eye
doesn't-
contact. Don't make eye contact.
Actually, he doesn't waddle. He's got human feet and human legs. He's just got a bird's head.
I take a piece of tape off my finger that I use to cover up my burns, and I put it on his leg and just like kind of wink at the tape.
I mean, if you're really curious, like Coruscant walks up behind you, it just smells like the freshest gust of wind while you're in the air, which may be because you don't like airships.
This is
You'll finally
did
feel
we
it.
actually see her come up?
No, she's there all of a sudden.
This is why mysterious friend, this is why I like you. Your brain works in the way that I
mean,
want it to work.
They're air elementals. That's what they are.
Yes.
The other two of you will arrive shortly thereafter.
Okay.
I'm in my dirty clothes again.
I have to leave.
Just disappointing.
But
myself.
like at the tea party, I was totally in like the scholar's robe, the red sash, and everything. But I'm just like going to the bench with like scrappy clothes again.
How much money did I spend on their clothes?
A reasonable amount.
How much would
burned
they
mine.
sell for?
A reasonable amount.
Oh, okay, yeah, right back.
But thank you.
Jahar is with Zarava and Kaz, and he taps Whist on the shoulder. So I have an answer. I think I know where Svara went. There's a big fountain near the center of like that second spire over, right? It's got a big reflecting pool in it, right? Well, it seems that a strange pale woman walked into the water and did some kind of strange sorcery, and in a whirlpool of ghosts sank through the water.
That sounds like our creepy
Okay,
friend.
I'm gonna do a lore check.
Yeah, give me an occult actually.
Oh, hold.
Occult and int. And if you want to do that, if any of the rest
I
of
would
you want to do
love
that,
to do
feel
that.
free.
What am I doing?
Occulted intelligence.
Oh, well, that's going to be trouble.
This is gonna be fun.
She probably went to go see the puppy and the rooster.
So that's how many.
That's
how
what I think
many
I'm
guys-
about to figure out.
So if we have a certain amount, we
Yeah.
just roll 2.
Yep.
Whatever.
We can do both or either or.
You add intelligence to occult, and you roll that number of dice.
That's not good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm
That one
assuming that
success
she.
if that's what we're doing.
3 successes.
Okay. And
I'm assuming she went to go visit the puppy and the rooster.
yeah, she went to visit the puppy and the
For
rooster, of
sure.
course.
Just canon. It's
But now
canon.
that you've heard that
everyone
maybe
does.
it's some maybe it's a bigger story, maybe she went to ask the puppy and the rooster's advice. With 1 success, you have no idea.
What advice could
3,
we give?
it's a necromancy spell of some sort, just based on the description. Be like, ah.
I have no idea.
So I assume if we leave without her, she will show up eventually.
Yeah. With 4 and more, yeah, that's a very standard necromancy spell that's just punching a hole in between creation and the underworld. So probably she had to go send a message back to her boss, and consequently was like, boop, gotta do it from the underworld.
How about this then? Jahar, let's leave 2 men behind with instructions.
Yeah, all right.
If you want to stay in,
I do.
You want to drink, don't you?
I don't want to go into the jungle.
Fair enough. Just don't get into trouble again.
Nope, everything will be fine.
No
Totally-
gambling.
Oh.
No gambling, please.
Okay.
Boozing is fine.
All right, cool. As long as I have some vice I can engage in.
I remember the last time you gambled.
I lost a house,
And what was in the house?
my family. I got them back.
Remember the fight?
Yes. That
Remember
was-
how I had to...
Yes.
Remember I had to give that death-defying speech about the terribleness of vice and stealing slaves? And how it moved everyone there?
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't really work that well, but you know what?
I won't gamble. I won't gamble.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
The captain shows up a little bit later. She's a reasonably young woman, probably about 25 or 26, but she definitely has that sort of air about her that she knows where everything is going and how to do stuff. Let's see here. Yes. Oh God, I forgot her name. Morning Lotus. That's what it was. She introduces herself, has everything loaded on, and at your leisure, sirs and ladies, can we can be on our way whenever you're ready.
Ready?
Great.
I
We're here.
think
The
so too.
the airship itself only has a crew of 4 because it's really an airboat. There's enough space for all of you, but there's no real below decks or anything like that. It's kind of like a Viking longship.
Are we
almost.
just sitting there with his metal blocks too?
Yeah, there's under where a bilge might normally be. That's where stuff is being stowed.
Is there a window of something?
There's no covering.
There's nothing.
Yeah,
it's just a
you're-
piece of thing.
You're in. Think of it like a very large canoe. So yes,
I don't.
it's got railings and stuff, belaying pins, all of that.
No, don't like that.
And one of the air elementals travels along with you. You have 3 acolytes that are with you as well that are just like baby geomancers that are trying to do their stuff and learn, having field work, etc., etc. And the airship takes off. It's a lovely morning trip out of Hermopolis itself, weaving between towers. The air elemental is in the back, basically meditating and producing wind that pushes the boat forward. It's sort of like a gas bag at the top, Zeppelin style.
So far,
And a number of wings off of the side that are catching the wind and moving the airship forward.
there's fire then.
No, it's
No
it's
fire.
lighter than air gas. It's not a hot air balloon.
So I shouldn't start a fire.
You should not start a fire.
Definitely no.
I take my flame pieces and I hand them over to us.
Oh, okay.
Inspect them for everyone's sake.
Here's how I inspect them. I find a lockbox and put it in there and I lock it.
That's a fair thing to do.
And I just drink.
Can I
Uh,
unlock them and just look at them?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I described previously, they are perfectly functional flame pieces that have seen a lot of combat. There are dents on them, as though maybe he parried swords with them and things like that. Getting some gun foo on
And
them.
how does the ammo work again?
It's barrel
just-
it's barrel loaded powder that produces a jet of flame.
Okay.
There is one letter also carved on the right one, the one that I hold in my right hand.
Does it say right? Is the R for
It
right?
does say R.
No,
It feels better that way.
I do
Left
want
is go. Left is stop. Right is go.
Yes.
That's my cheat sheet.
Exactly.
I officially do want to begin making the plans to create 2 new.
Okay. Yeah,
want them.
that is a perfectly reasonable thing. But being a woodworker, you may have to practice on some certain other crafts before you can really undertake that.
Yep.
Even with arete
Still
shifting
need to
prana.
give me a dot in craft and a dot in martial arts. I'm just gonna fill that in.
Is what you're gonna go for.
Well, no, that's what was missing from my character make. So like,
Oh,
the martial
yeah.
art, it's fine. I'll just keep
Yeah, put it on
I'll
there,
remember it.
um,
I start it, but I'll keep remembering.
It's
fine.
almost as if when I was going to set aside time to fix your character sheet, we
It's
spent
fine. And
4
then
days
PAX
running around
happened.
PAX.
And then
Yes.
PAX happened.
I specifically could not do it because I was hanging out with you.
Best family reunion ever. It's fine.
Montage sequence of the like misty jungles and like enormous birds, some like enormous toucans and things like that, but
What?
also large golden eagles and things like that floating around and flying down below. There are some flying mountains, in fact, off in the distance that are just sort of hovering and floating along. A set of them is attached to Hermopolis itself, and they are chained together with enormous chains so that they don't drift too far apart. Obviously, some extremely powerful sorcerers' home domain. But some of the floating mountains are simply things that occur naturally in creation, because creation is wondrous and powerful and amazing, and also has storms. And the wind and the rain begin to pick up as you sail over one of the ridge lines and down into a valley. The captain has a chart with good geomantic locations that she's been consulting with you on and the best way to get there. But the storm starts to pick up. The winds begin to whip and rage, and it becomes very uncomfortable. Upon which, when the thunder rolls. So, who has sailing as a skill?
I don't think any of us do.
I do, actually.
Oh, you hate? Oh
Yes.
my
Great.
god.
So, it's very obvious that most of the people on this boat are used to calmer weather, not quite like this. And the captain, in fact, is doing an admirable job of trying to control the airship, but some of the crew are having a hard time, like, controlling the lines and things like that. And the airship begins to spiral as it gets caught at the edge of like a whirlwind, essentially, and begins to spiral around and list to one side. A rope snaps. What are y'all doing?
Ah!
Filling my pants.
That is logical, but probably not helpful for anyone else. Probably
Can
not
I-
even for yourself.
I run over to the captain.
You go first.
I run over to the captain. And
Yeah.
just say, let me. What the fuck? No. You ever sailed a boat before? It's the same thing. It's the ship that's up
You want to
there.
help? Help!
Okay, then
get
I
out of the
help.
way.
I use my helping.
Okay, I run and grab the rope. I summon the wood dragon's claws and just like latch onto the bow of the ship and then wrap my entire whatever
Okay,
the
so you're,
claw
like,
is and
gripping
grab
it?
it down for now.
All right.
Is there only one rope that broke, or?
No, there are others that are getting
I'm gonna
tangled and
actually
things like
take
that.
out my rope dart then, and wrap it around the thing, swip, and then put it in.
All
the
right, try and
full
like
defense pose. Yep.
lash it back off.
I'm gonna go run and try to like save some of the ropes.
All right.
Just
Save
go,
those ropes.
like straight up grab 'em.
Shokan is like crouched down and has
Oh.
wedged himself partway under a little like
That's
a little
fine.
deck
And
thing.
as long as he's safe.
I
He
throw,
does not-
I throw Chuck on some fish jerky. that I
That's
have.
fine. I will accept that this time.
Okay, throw it. Just throw it down while I'm with the captain.
I'm going to focus on making sure that the animals aboard on Shul and Shokan are steady and not being rocked into things because, frankly, I have no practical skills of the sort, as this is certainly something that I never had to deal with.
Yeah, I've noticed
Also,
that.
with spell weaving, if the elementals are using magic to push the ship, is there anything I can do to actually? There's
Not
nothing
really,
that
because
I can do anything,
they're
right?
using like innate charm like abilities.
Yeah, and elementals are bad
and
things.
they can do that, but their power is nowhere near enough to counteract the power of the storm. And Monos is
I talk to the captain and I take over the wheel and I start shouting directions to people.
all right. Give me a sail and dex essentially, because you are, or a sail and strength, whichever you prefer, because you're making
the
the wheel
same.
go.
So, And what is success again?
7 and higher.
7 and higher.
10s count for 2,
Wait,
and you
I-
drop a die in your crotch.
I
It's
lost
now on the
one that's
floor.
in my-
Crotch dice.
Crotch dice.
That's how we
Kind
win.
of dicey.
Oh no!
Oh, yes, you
no,
missed that one.
No, no.
Good,
5.
dicey.
I didn't miss it.
5.
All right.
Aw.
Did you have any charms that you wanted to use in there? Because I know you've got at least salty dog method.
Salty dog. Hold on, wait.
Wait, is that serious?
I
Wait,
pull
what?
this out of my hat.
What drink do you actually
I drink this and I scream, "Salty dog!"
That's not what makes it a salty dog.
Give
That's
me
what I
a
call it.
strength and martial arts for Korasak.
Oh,
And for Whist, we'll do a strength and melee, because that's essentially the grapple that you're doing. Yes, Anshul is very happy with. No, Mom, I don't want to fall off the boat.
Can I
Yeah.
give Anshul some fish jerky
this
too?
is gross.
Holy,
Allow
oh,
it. Allow
she's
it.
okay.
2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10.
10. Oh, right.
I got 4 doubles.
So
and
you sink the wood dragon's claw into the
and it
side of
spreads
the
out
airship.
into roots and like latches in.
Yeah, as she does that, it explodes out and literally takes root in the wood of the airship, sort of causing her arm to seem to grow into the boat itself, with the rope wrapped around the other one. You're plenty of strength holding on to it. With 5 successes, you're holding the ship steady, but you are seasoned enough to know that this storm is too powerful for this airship. It is going to get torn apart. The question is, how long will it take for that to happen? And Whist.
1, 2, 9.
9. All right, you're doing good grappling work as well. Essentially, what that's doing is preventing you from going into too much of a tailspin. The two of you are managing to hold the steering vanes into position so that they can actually be used by the tiller, helm, rudder, by the Monos with a wheel.
Yes.
Like that.
How far up are we?
Pretty far, I would say. The equivalent of being like, I don't know, I'm bad at estimating height because in an airplane it's small, but if you were in a skyscraper, you'd be on like floor 80.
Jar was right.
I'm sorry, I missed something that was really funny because I didn't understand it.
I said Jahar was right.
Oh, yes, he
But
fucking
it was like you couldn't understand it because
It was
getting farther away.
further
The-
away.
Give me a...
What is this game?
It's right there.
So the two of you, since you're less busy with
Yeah.
surviving,
I was
is
actually
really
gonna say, can I use
Animals.
sensory acuity prana to like see if there's any like way that I could use my senses to see if this storm may end soon, like off in the distance or something,
you
or is it?
could throw up sensory acuity prana. It would give you a bonus on a roll I was going to have you make anyway.
Yeah.
So that works.
Let's do that.
All right.
Okay.
And give me an awareness and perception as well.
Okay.
So does Monos have a plan for what to do with the airship?
I'm just telling people to do what I know to do. I've never been on a skyboat before. I've been on the water boats. The skyboats are a different thing because the air is just made of less of part of the molecules that make up the water. So I assume it's vaguely the same thing, but I frankly don't know. I'm just kind of shouting things and hoping that people listen.
So for like
Like
5
salty
seconds
dog.
there was
Salty
actually
dog.
some science, and then no.
Well, I mean, really, let's just put science out of your mind. Yes, there is a lighter than air bag, but the use of air elementals is really the key thing that allows it to go.
So
I have 2 successes.
All right. You can hear like thunder and so there's something else on the wind, something that's like in the storm, in the thunder and lightning. It's just like I can't tell what that is, but something else is going on.
Can I roll for perception occult in that?
Not yet,
Okay.
because you haven't
just-
seen
okay.
anything to analyze as yet.
So no perception. You can't use perception at all. In this
No,
moment, in
she
regards
can't
to-
use occult because there's
I-
nothing to
yeah.
occult.
Is
It's
it
a
possible
storm.
to just use perception and something and like nothing?
In your case, you're very busy trying to get the boat to not crash.
Oh, okay.
So,
Because
Okay,
I have way too much
I rolled
perception.
3 successes, but they were all crit. So I got a 10, a 10, and a 9.
that's tens are count for 2, so you
Yeah.
got 5 successes. Not
Or
3.
wait, no, the 9 because I used sensory acuity.
Oh yeah, then you've got
Prana.
6 successes.
Yeah.
You can hear on the wind in the thunder and lightning. There are other noises that shouldn't be there.
Good.
The buzzing of a swarm of bees almost.
Oh god.
Not the bees.
Just oh yes, the bees.
They're gonna go in my eyes.
Bees?
It's like you can hear insect buzzing
Jesus, take the
and the
wheel.
occasional cackle of laughter as well.
Insects don't laugh, right?
Not
It's
as
not me,
far
though.
as you've ever known.
It's not
I mean,
me.
you can find a really saucy ladybug or something like that.
I have always desired
favorite kind of
muchly to
ladybug.
find a
They're
very
ladybug.
saucy ladybug.
Ladybug, more like lady.
Wow.
It's like Phyllis Diller if she was a ladybug. That's what I'm looking for.
The entire thing here is just woo.
Body.
So yeah, you can hear other things in the storm. And you're like, okay, maybe this is not normal.
But I'm not seeing them.
You're not seeing anything visually. You're hearing it.
Okay.
And then, as I was getting there, there was a rolling peal of thunder and lightning, and the sky is illuminated. And off in the distance, you can see flying humanoid-ish things that have insect-like wings and are dancing on the storm itself.
You know what's great for long range
Cats.
if it's not facing me?
Magical arrows.
So, yeah.
Just don't shoot our good friend, other woman. I haven't learned everyone's names yet. No one's really
Good
introduced
friend,
themselves.
other
to me.
woman.
I was in a cage for like 2 days. No one really said their names except we.
I would have been stuck in the cage with you.
That was nice,
You're
though.
still
I met you
wobble-brained. You're
nice.
still
It bit me.
wobble-brained to
It
me.
bit me. Your thing bit me.
Oh yeah, well you also rolled in my salt circle, but
That's true. I do like salt. It
I feel
makes
more-
it adds a certain kind of acidity to the more adult beverages.
I look to the captain. Are they bantering while we're crashing?
No. I mean,
no.
he's probably bantering while controlling, and the
himself.
captain is like trying to lash stuff down.
going.
Look at Monos. He's the captain now.
Exactly.
is that your greatest fear?
You guys don't have sail. I have sail, motherfuckers.
You're pretty certain that the wisest course of action in this storm is to put the airship down somewhere in the jungle where there's a clearing.
Okay.
Just look for some place.
Can
to
I
put
use
it down.
perception to find a clearing?
Yes. Anybody wants to give me a perception and awareness, or a perception and survival to find a clearing down below is free to do so.
You said survival too?
Yes, whichever awareness or survival, whichever you prefer. The figures in the distance that are dancing on the storm are not approaching you either. They're simply existing in that cacophony of wind and rain.
6.
All right.
2.
Okay. 3.
Do I get a little extra since I'm still helping control the boat too?
You don't get a whole lot.
But it helps a little extra.
All of you can spot a relatively clear area on a somewhat flat side of the mountains. And if you could imagine Amazon rainforest, but with a heavier preponderance of the kinds of flora and fauna you would find in Thailand, that's where you are. So trying to land in the trees would just puncture the gas bag and screw your airship for good. And that's not something that you would want because they're very expensive. And then he would probably also make the Pelican disappear, and he's friendly. With that, you can start navigating your way down, but it's going to be tough, and it's going to require contributions from everybody for helping to steer, for holding the bag together. The captain is just like trying to keep things from going overboard. You've lost a few crates. Some food and some water has gone overboard.
Would it be possible to find any way to slow the speed by using my fire to cause a cushion from us going down, so if it bursts, it pushes up a little bit before
I
we
think
do it?
in
No,
current
it was
events
already
you should
said.
not use force.
No
Force
fire.
and fire do not go together.
I'm used to water.
I think in this case, no.
Fire, air?
I locked your things away for a reason.
Oh, yes, I gave him to him because
Yep.
I am.
Because you're wise. You know yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Give me another
Yeah,
sail and
good
dex.
tactic. Make it seem like it's his idea. So
You're gonna say
it's
something?
stick.
I want to see if I can pop a shot off at one of those creatures in the sky.
All right, you can. You'll have the requisite aim actions to do so.
And I'm going to use Sight Without Eyes.
That's the don't care about cover and intervening. That's pretty dope because you couldn't see it.
4.
Okay, give me an archery then.
Me?
No, him, because he's
Okay.
shooting at
He's
one
gonna
of
shoot
the
Sally.
Archery dex.
archery dex. Do you want to boost it any?
This is all
Poor,
really-
poor Sally, shot in the lower back every time Kaz takes a shot.
It's a bitch.
I know. Watch. This is gonna be bad.
Should I go ahead and just like activate durability evoke meditation?
No.
As long as just for.
And then I hit Anshul.
No,
Oh God, no!
no!
Why?
I just want to bring up that for my parry, evasion, and
Your
rush.
dog is in my command right now.
And I
too,
wrote
for my
Tyler next to
safety.
parry,
He's in your
so
vicinity,
I just
not
want to
your
bring that up.
That's
for-
good. That's
yeah,
good.
You're welcome.
Would,
I
would
do
you
want to rank.
4? Okay. And both of you give me the martial arts or melee and dex to help control
Oh,
the boat.
Dex to say? Okay. It was the same anyway.
His evasion's not that good. All of you hear it. There is a shriek with 1,000 buzzing voices in the distance as Kaz's arrow sails through the storm, weaving its way through a hurricane-force wind, despite the fact that it's fairly light, and strikes something in the distance.
I made a boo-boo. But like a
It is
good boo-boo.
it is an angry, angry shriek.
Do I know the sound of what's making because I've been in the area
Can I?
before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I roll for occult now?
Yes.
That I've heard the sound.
Can I look at Kaz and be like, what did you do? We are already fucking dealing with this stuff. What? You made a
Make a
thing.
occult and int.
That's my
and what?
That's
Int.
my turn.
Can I roll an occult and to figure out what that is?
No,
I'm busy.
because
I'm
you're
making
busy.
things. Cool.
Alright, 5.
5, 6. Okay, you're steering the ship downward. You're doing a very good job. It's arcing towards the that clearing, and is that a bad 4? There are beastmen that have made noises like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're human. Yeah, they're beast men.
They're
Beastmen are a
beastmen.
specific thing.
Wait, are they beastmen or beastmen?
Well,
That-
these would be
Did I really
beastmen.
Is
Here?
it, it's Tony Beesman?
Seriously,
is that
which
what it is?
one?
Is that what
But
it
how
is?
tiny is
Can
this
you
B-man?
spell it?
How tiny is this B-man?
But
I
how
need
tiny is the
clarification. How tiny is this B-man?
So,
Love you, Tony. I'm sorry.
with that, there are beastmen, and they're a specific thing. Because you've got enough occult and you've been trained by the cult of the Illuminated, beastmen are created by Lunar Exalted. Suddenly there was an Anna standing.
Something's just not rolling on cork.
Oh,
I think it might be sad.
I think
Oh,
it's
it's
Sally.
me. I don't have.
Yeah, because you gave me
He
all
took-
the
He,
cord.
he took all of mine.
For the record,
Hold
for the
on.
record,
You
everybody.
just gotta leave it.
For the record, this cork was told that it was all mine. I was told this cork was all mine, so I took it. There you
From
go.
Gibson's?
No, from Anna and Sally. I was like, what is all this cork here? And they're like, oh, it's all yours
I
because
like
you make
the
so much
nose.
noise.
You have so many bottles.
Because I have so many things. So I took advantage of a situation that I was told I could take advantage of.
Yep.
I apologize, Sally, it's your cork.
All right.
I don't know.
Beastmen are created by Lunar Exalted to be their armies, and they're basically mutations that breed true.
Gross.
But generally, they're not insectoid. Things that do sometimes take insectoid form are particular types of Raksha, the fair folk that devour dreams and desires. Because they are, in order to exist within creation, they have to put on an aspect of something that already exists. Otherwise, they're basically John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, I don't
I do like that movie, though. That's a good
But are
movie.
they still? So are they
Good
still
movie, bad
considered?
enemies.
bad people to fight.
Bad things?
Bat things? How batty?
Oh.
Like, are we talking Christian Bale and Michael
Do I
Keaton?
know?
Go.
Do I know? Am I able to recall any specific weaknesses or ways?
Yes.
Kill them?
Killing them with iron will kill them for good if they're Raksha.
To, okay.
And also, they're bound by oaths in the same way that he can bind people with oaths. It's just the way that they are. And it's always 6 of one, half dozen of another, whether or not they're going to eat your face or give you a great feast. They are as changeable as the wind. That their nature is to be unpredictable. These are not the friendly, kindly, fair folk of Irish myth. Hee hee ho ho. These are the ones that devour your children.
Unseelie.
That's,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure after what I just did, they're not going to be giving us a feast.
You know.
You know what? Yeah.
What if
so,
I yell hee hee
what if
ho
I-
ho
yeah,
at the,
so
at
I
the
I
think
feed you your
trap?
liver first, and then eat you. Because
I
that's
think-
Oh,
better.
not my liver?
Yep, Sally Sackin.
I think I will go let Kaz what I let him know what I know and recommend. Maybe if you have any iron projectiles, now would be the time to use them.
And it's at that point that one of the main line ropes around the gas bag snaps and spirals off into the distance, sending you plunging to the ground. The ship crashes. The
We
world
died.
goes black. and we'll take a. How many minutes should we take for break? I think?
What? No.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
good timing, though.
We'll be back at.
Do I get my moats back?
That's a good story
No.
structure right there. That's a good act break.
We'll get back
It's good act break.
at 8 p.m. to give people a chance to pee and stuff like that, because I'm usually the bad one that doesn't take a long enough break. Or actually, I think 7:55 would be right. That's 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we good?
7:55.
7:55.
Okay.
All right. They're not dead. Pro tip. They're exalts. They can.
I must say
they're
that
not
was a good show. I enjoyed it.
That's great.
Yeah,
Well,
this
hope you
has
guys
been-
had
this
fun.
has been really
so.
fun. I'm glad we had the opportunity to do this. And
Shoot some
like,
bees.
it's
Yep.
been it's
Very
been
short-lived, but
Very-
so
Yep.
are we.
So yes, 7:55. We'll be back.
7:55
great.
guys, we're
It's
coming at
just
you.
like the end of My Girl.
It's
Oh my
God!
God.
It's just
No.
it's literally it's just like the end of
Cut to
Curly
black.
Sue.
Cut to black.
Cut to
We're
black on
done.
that, we're